This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Hello, America, and welcome to the #1 radio station in all of Fort Myers Beach. Beach Talk Radio. Here are your hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Yeah. Now, you guys don't have to applaud. Do you have any idea what's going on here? I have no idea. If you want to have a breakfast that's undisturbed, you might just want to move down a few tables. No, we interview the mayor here every Sunday. So where are you guys from? Yeah. Boston. All right. Well, welcome to Wahoo Willies. And your team has the first pick in the NFL draft in Green Bay. So welcome to Wahoo Willies, everybody. Sunday Brunch with the Mayor is on. And before we introduce the guest of honor today, who hasn't been on the show for 2 weeks, and you know what? I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, and he looks exactly the same that he did 2 weeks ago.
What does that mean?
He looks exactly the same. I feel
what did you expect him to change?
I feel like I haven't seen him in so long. It's just been a couple of weeks.
I'm sorry your bromance was interrupted by his trip with his wife.
Yeah.
I mean,
please don't encourage her by laughing at anything she said about the insults. When she insults me and you guys laugh, it encourages her. Yeah.
I'm going to get to those. There's plenty of time.
How was the massage today, Jamie? How was your massage today? Very nice. It's, you know how weird it is when you know exactly what everybody in the audience does before they show up for the show. Like I know Megan gets up and she has a Bloody Mary, and I know Jamie gets up and he gets a massage from a naked man somewhere off the island.
You get up, try to run on the beach.
Oh, Dan caught me walking. I did a walk run this morning because it was so cold.
I wish somebody would have caught you sliding.
So I go out at Bowditch. I ran from here to Bowditch, and then I go out on the sand and run, walk. And then I get out there, and some of the sand was wet. Like, after the hurricane, when the sidewalk was covered with that mud kind of thing, where if you walked on it too fast, you would fall. It was like that on the beach this morning. And so I got jogging on it, and then I just couldn't get back into the dry sand. I just kept going and sliding out toward the water. I did see a dolphin out there though, which was pretty cool. Hey, these guys, they're not even paying attention to the show. They're just sitting there talking amongst themselves.
They're trying to talk
like the show
over
isn't
your
even
microphone, over your speaker.
So, I have the baby truck with all the gear set up in it.
How about those babies yesterday?
Yeah, the baby. If you didn't see the show yesterday, there was two twin 10-year-old baby 10-month-old baby boys. Yeah, we had a 10-year-old sitting on our lap. No, that sounded weird. No, we had two 10-month-old twin baby boys that showed up from Indiana, right? They were from Indiana that had I Love Beach Talk Radio shirts on them at 10 months old, which was really cool.
No, they were Lana Burton.
Yeah, Lana Burton and her grandkids, right?
Yeah.
Her daughter and grandkids. Anyway, so my truck is fully loaded with all the merchandise. We have hoodies and we have shirts and I barely fits because we have the tables. We bring everything. And so I say to her last night and this morning.
This morning. You
Okay.
said last night.
Okay. So I wanted to give away 20 of the dumbassery shirts that we have here. So I go online and I say, we're going to give away 20 shirts. So what I say to her is, I just need you to do one thing. Just grab the box. Just grab the box of shirts, put it in your vehicle when Marie comes and pick you up. So somebody comes in and says, where's my shirt? I have to chase her down to the bathroom because she's putting her makeup and hair on. Hey, where's the box of shirts? Where's the box of shirts? Oh, I forgot the shirts.
Because we sold a bunch of shirts yesterday. Thank you to the Schoonovers.
Yeah, they bought $700 worth of shirts yesterday. It's like, yeah.
I know.
The whole family, everybody in Michigan's getting a shirt or wherever they're from.
Minnesota. So we had to replenish the shirts. So I was more focused on replenishing that than bringing the dumbassery
I say
shirts.
when you replenish the shirts, just take them out of the boxes in the garage and put them in the box that you're taking with the free shirts in it.
Well,
she forgot
some of them were here. There's
Yeah.
10 of them here.
Yeah. So enough about our woes, dear, last night. And last night, trying to watch the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game, we were sitting outside.
I couldn't
of course, the temperature dropped to a balmy 60 degrees, and she went running in the house because it was so cold. And I grabbed 3 layers of clothes and a blanket, and I'm like, I'm sitting outside. It's 60 degrees, but I'm sitting out here anyway, and I'm going to rough through the football game. So I made it to halftime, and then I went inside and got on the couch with 3 blankets on. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason you're here is not for us. It's for this guy. Can we get a big hand for the mayor of Fort Myers Beach? Where you're about to get a bunch of leaked information that you will hear for the first time. Oh, big audience. And look at Dan finally wears something with our name on it after 3 years.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the guy that was wearing the from Texas that came? Yeah.
Big guy.
Yeah, he was a big fella.
And you just turned Dan's not. No, the whole thing. Dan's not totally. There we go. Perfect. Thank you.
Just to let everybody know, I heard you talking about Ed was fast walking. I don't know if he called it a jog this morning. He looked like a Coomeran. Have you ever seen the Coomerans that I call them dodo birds.
Yes.
When they just
you start right out of the gate with the insults.
Right? The only thing he missed is he didn't go underwater.
We could fix that.
Yeah, with an anchor.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
You hold him and I'll push him down.
So it is really.
Oh, and I want to thank the people from a long time ago. We had people that brought us these hats from Canada, and I'm finally getting to use it. So they're probably not followers anymore, but hey,
you should put that on your golf carts. You know what happened was when I got the vehicle wrapped at Collier. I totally forgot the guy's name that wrapped my vehicle. Collier something or other. He cut those out and gave them to me for nothing. So he said, I like to do above and beyond. So he gave us some.
Why don't you send them out with every shirt that you sell?
I do right now. I do. I send them in some. And then I also we have magnets now. We have free magnets because when we go to these events like the Sandcastle Festival, people come up to your table when you're selling merchandise and they say, well, what's for free? Everybody wants something for free. And I'm like, why do people want shit for free? Like everything is free to people. Well, what was the weirdest thing about at the Shrimp Festival? I keep calling it that because we are going to have the folks from the Shrimp Festival on next week, which is March 8th and 9th. The Sandcastle Festival, the vendors that were selling products at the Sandcastle Festival were coming up to our table asking for free stuff, which was kind of weird.
Oh, you got bumper stickers.
Right. We should have went around to every single other table and said, okay, what's for free?
Yeah.
Well, but they do have stuff for free.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like small little things, like little trinkets.
I don't have anything for free.
Do you rent your cards for free?
No.
Okay, of course not.
We do.
So
we do donate some for fundraisers and stuff.
Christmas. She's really brutal today for some reason.
Everyone should rent a cart when they come down. islandcartsfmb.com.
Yeah, you should push it out a little bit more.
Well,
you should.
I know. Tim told me that just before.
Yeah.
Make sure you get a couple shouts out in there. Right?
I tell him that all the time, Tim. You should mention his business. We have no. We love the businesses on the island. So
we have no business in your business.
Yeah. You have to be a long-time follower to know what she just did right there. Yeah, I can tell you after the show.
We're expanding too, so there'll be some news coming up hopefully soon.
More carts?
No.
Beer?
No. Well, I'll tell you when we're ready to launch.
Oh, a little teaser there from the mayor. So can we start off with the fireworks? Let's
roller
start
skates?
off. Let's
roller. Oh, that would be fun.
Let's start off with the fireworks.
Let's
after seeing Ed
start
walk,
off with a bang.
After seeing Ed
start
walk,
off with
you
the
really
bang.
want him on roller skates.
Ice skates.
You might, yeah.
So obviously the fireworks didn't work out because of the fog. The fog was horrible the entire day. We started out the race in the fog. We were worried that the people weren't going to be able to see the runners in front of them. It was so foggy, and I was watching. We decided not to come back to the beach because it was so foggy. We lived 20 miles away, and we were supposed to broadcast the fireworks. But watching the camera from the top of Margaritaville, you couldn't see the cars coming over the bridge. It was that foggy. And then there was 1 hour where it seemed like it was lifting, like you could see the beach. You could see part of this, almost like the water. And then like a curtain, it just fell down for the rest of the night. And I understand that I'm trying not to be an ass. You understand that.
Well, there's the first, folks. Mark it down in your calendar. There's a first.
So you clearly
Here we go.
you were in a contract where you had to blow the fireworks off. Okay, fine. It didn't work out. Not everything works out. But I guess where I thought there could have been a little bit more communication between the town, like set expectations early on. Like you see the fog. What happens if the fog stays like this the entire night? Let's just let people know we have to do these because it's on a barge. It's not the typical kind of thing. So can you kind of take us through what happened?
Well, yeah. So our contract with the fireworks company says if you're going to cancel or reschedule, you have to do it within 96 hours of the event. So we would have had to postpone it 4 days in advance. Can you imagine what would have happened if we would have done that? And hold on, you asked a question, I'm going to give you the answer.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was sunny like it is today. We'd have been crucified for that. So why, and then it was being fired from a barge, which, if it's on the pier, they set up the day of, right? On a barge, they have to set up the day before. So once they're on the barge, you're paying for those fireworks no matter what. We did reach out on the 31st and ask if we could get a rescheduled date. And they told us no, because the contract, says you have to have 96 hours. And it's not as simple as just, I saw some suggestions of, well, you should have had it the next day on the town's birthday. Yes, that's all great. We talked about it. However, it's not just as simple as saying, can we schedule it the next day? Our permit for FDOT and the bridge was for that day only. They're not going to just roll it over to the next day. Lee County Sheriff's Office, the fire department, the barge company.
Okay,
but your specific question is about the communication. Well, I can't speak for Andy. That communication level comes from town staff. And I can't speak for why he did or did not decide to put out, we're still having them. To me, I just thought if we're not hearing anything about it, we were traveling, so we were on our way back. So I didn't see anything. I just assumed we're still having it. When we were able to get back, I did call Andy and say, it looks like this fog may or may not lift. And so we reached out, tried to cancel it. And they said, you can cancel it, but you're going to still pay for it. So he made the decision to just go ahead and fire him off. It was, and I think what you're trying to get is, why didn't somebody say, I could tell you I had 2 people reach out to me that entire day. 2 people, not including you, saying, are these fireworks still happening? Only 2. Out of all the people on the island, only 2 people asked, are you still having them?
Fair enough. But my point is, that there's a possibility for the fog. And I'm not going to beat the dead horse. There was no communication. And I think I think people would have understood better if they knew ahead of time, like set expectations. They wouldn't let us cancel. The fireworks are going off. Rain, shine, or fog. We have to do it because there is no plan B. And you could have basically even blamed it on the fireworks company. They won't work with us. They won't work with us.
There wasn't about the point, I think, is they weren't being canceled. So there was really no news as far as I was concerned. But again, it's not up to me to put information out. It was put on there. It was put on our town Facebook page that the fireworks were happening. It was put out there. Maybe because it wasn't a big social media thing,
that black box of the fireworks is what you're talking about. That promo box is what you're talking about. Nobody cut a free video. It doesn't cost anything to cut a 30-second video saying, look, there's fog behind me. There's a possibility there could be fog later. I mean, obviously, I'm beating a dead horse. Like I said,
would you have come down either way?
No, we weren't coming down.
There you go.
No, because I could tell there was no way with this dinky little camera that anybody was going to be able to see anything if there was fog.
Well, not only that, but
well, when I got back
we
that
knew
day,
there was
when we were
fog.
finally able to get back to the island from traveling because of the fog,
Uh-huh.
I was off island two times that day. And once you got past Walmart, it was like today. It was clear and sunny.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you got close, and it did lift 2 or 3 times that day.
Yes.
So, we hope. There was no way, because I looked at the contract after. I asked Andy for the contract after the fireworks show because I wanted to see exactly what the timing was, and that's how I knew it was 96 hours. But I didn't know that until afterwards. But I mean,
so
I don't know. I don't know that there's anybody out there that thinks it would have been a good idea to cancel.
No, I don't think that's
rain,
the point.
if it was 80% chance of rain,
yeah,
that's a whole different story. But fog, that's fog. Like,
okay, so
I've been here for 13 years. I've never seen.
I know
fog
it was
like
a crazy day, no doubt. But let me ask. Well, the other thing is that the town, for some reason, recorded a video of the fireworks.
Yeah, I don't understand.
The clouds turning from blue. I mean, right? Did you guys see it? The clouds turning from blue to red, and somebody in the video said, "Woo, isn't this beautiful?" And I'm like, "What the hell? We were watching the same video."
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know that I would have posted a video of something you can't see, but
No, and the other thing is, what if it would have rained? What if it would have rained like at 11 o'clock and didn't stop till 2? What was the plan then if it rained?
You weren't going to be able to fire. I mean, a lot of it comes down to, again, when you're on a barge, if the wave action would have been too much, they would have had to cancel them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it was 3-foot waves in the contract. If it's 2 to 3 foot waves, I think it was, the barge company, it's not safe for their people to be operating, so they wouldn't be out there.
In that case, then what happens? Do they honor it on a different day, or you're still out of the money?
Well, you know, Kelly Brothers has been really good working with us and giving us a discounted rate for their barge. You know, but that the barge was spoken for to be somewhere else the next day. So it's not that we
so even if there'd been 3-foot waves.
Well, I can't speak for Kelly Brothers, but they've been very good with us for the last 2 fireworks displays. Again, this is, you know, firing them off of, this is not an excuse, but it's a reality. Firing them off a barge adds a hell of a lot more cost to it and risk and all kinds of other things. As you know, the pier, they come down with a box truck, pull the stuff out of the box truck on the 31st. They set it up. If it's going to be crappy, they keep them in the truck and you reschedule to the, you know, but once they were put on the barge on the 30th, they were loading them on and setting up the day before. So once they were there, they were there.
Yeah. Well, last question on this. There seems to be some misunderstanding about the donation or a donation. There was never a commitment of money, right? Nothing
not for this fireworks.
Right.
No.
Okay. Just so everybody understands that nobody backed out of a donation.
No.
Like there were some comments on our page. I just want that to be clear. There was some discussion. Like a guy called me and wanted to donate $10,000, and then I never heard from him again because we were kind of got it. I was like, if you're going to donate 10,000, then we can come up with some kind of campaign. But there's got to be some seed money. Like this is not buying a washer and dryer. This is a major investment.
It is,
and I don't want to make it.
And 50% of that investment is the barge cost.
Yeah.
You know, everybody thinks it's $80,000 worth of fireworks. No, it's $40,000 worth of barge.
You know, the other thing too is
$35,000. It was
maybe the town goes a year without fireworks.
Maybe. So going forward, is the barge situation something that?
Well, we'll have to have that discussion for the 4th of July. We'll have the discussion of, you know, yes, is $80,000 a lot of money? Had the fireworks gone off without a hitch, would be having this conversation?
Not at all.
Of course not. Everybody said it was great. Every person I talked to that was down here that night had a good time regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, they could hear it. They couldn't see him, whatever, but they still were down here having a good time, spending money. You know, every parking spot the town has was packed full the entire day. So, I mean, we generated revenue from it too as a town.
You know what you should have done? You should have said, listen, the fireworks couldn't go off. We're going to do them next night. And then you should have said, no, we're going to do them the next night just to keep people coming down.
Well, I did talk to several people the next day who were flying out. And if they didn't go, I mean, they flew down here and were staying specifically for the fireworks.
Yeah.
So they were leaving the next day. They would have been upset if they didn't at least go off. They're like, we didn't get to see them, but standing in Times Square and hearing it and seeing the glow. And
it's not the end of the world.
Well, you're there for New Year's.
It's not like somebody turned the right corner at 100 miles an hour and started mowing over people.
It's okay.
If this is the biggest
problem I have to answer for in 2025, I will take it.
Yeah.
In years past, is it usually the town that pays for the fireworks? Is that pretty
in years past, it was before the hurricane. It was the chamber
raised money.
They raised money from the businesses to pay for it, and then the town covered the second half of it. And you know,
because there was that complaint too.
Well, what I find is
if you look at the
simple if you want to really talk about something, if you look at the simple mathematics of it, back then it was $50,000 for the show. The town paid $25,000 and the chamber raised the other $25,000. I have not heard one person from the fireworks we've had since the storm, which were bigger, longer, more spectacular shows, in my opinion.
They were
$10,000 less than $50,000. So
that's a lot of math. That's a lot of math.
How could it cost $10,000 more for less of a show?
Yeah.
Then, you know, I think it was $41,000 or something like that. Numbers somewhere around there for the fireworks display, but it was a 20 or 22-minute show.
Yeah.
I'm learning more about fireworks than I ever thought I would ever.
So our beach guy friend, our pier guy, is saying that you'll be able to shoot them off the pier soon. When he says soon, he means 2030. By the way,
what do you call the pier? What do you call the pier? You had a name.
I did. I don't know. I can't remember anything.
Less than average pier. Is that what it's called?
No, it's way more than average pier.
No,
now.
It's going to be great. It's going to be spectacular.
Less than Taj Mahal pier.
Yeah. Have you heard anything more about the pier from Lee County?
No, I know Andy's planning on scheduling weekly meetings with Dave Harner from the county to get updates on obviously the bathrooms, Lynn Hall Park, pier, things like that. we know they're in the design phase. We know it's coming. We just don't know exactly when. So he's going to start reach out to Dave to see if he can start having some weekly meetings with him to find out, the progress of this, so we can keep the people updated.
So
you could never shoot them off from the beach now that the beach is longer?
No, it comes down, it's a safety risk.
Okay.
You got to be so far away, and I'm not on the fire department, so I can't tell you what there's requirements. You got to be so far away from a crowd, and because we talked about
that beach now is way out there almost.
Yeah. Well, we talked about, could we do it at Bay Oaks? Could you light them off when we're off of Bay Oaks area where the softball field used to be? And
probably not
you
enough
can't do it from there either. According to the fireworks company, we can't do that.
Listen, just go a couple of years without fireworks. I mean, people will be fine. Come up with a different.
When it comes up for discussion, if you feel that we shouldn't have the fireworks for the 4th of July,
I think people love the fireworks. It's just it's expensive. I mean, $80,000 for those two contracts. That's a lot of money.
Or do we go? I think we could. It makes sense to try to go back to the businesses. As people are getting back online, and every little bit helps offset, and the businesses benefit as much as the town benefits from having people. It
was just the craziest day from the early morning getting organized for the race and seeing okay, as soon as the sun comes out, this fog is going to lift. It never did. Some poor guy was running. He had his glasses on, and I don't know if he couldn't see where he was running, but he fell and his glasses, hit him in his face. And so he comes walking back and there's blood all over his face. And so I'm like, shit, you want me to call an ambulance? He goes, no, I'm fine. He's wiping the blood off his face. And so, that was one of the issues. We couldn't get any good pictures of all those yellow shirts because of the fog. It was just one of those days.
Those 2 days in a row. Like I said, we were trying to get back from Minnesota in the fog, and it was.
Well, I mean, and that's pleasant. The thing, the safety issue too, with the fog and the way Times Square is and the lack of lights. Yeah. I mean,
so on the Times Square thing, Dan,
maybe not having the fireworks is an error on the side of caution.
We had a bunch of lights
safety.
Down there. We had a bunch of rented lights.
Okay.
So we had plenty.
Could you get them to put them on the bridge?
Yeah, go ahead, dear. Go ahead. Your turn.
You want to roll into the FDOT? I'm sure you've got an FDOT question. Sure. I'm sure.
Well, so she was walking home from. It was dark out, right? You were walking over the bridge because she's cheap. She's cheap, so she parks in the free parking lot on the other side of the bridge.
They don't want. Yes, that's true. But we also hear all the time about park and walk over, park and ride your bike.
One less car.
So I'm parking and I'm walking over.
Doing your part, right?
And when you come back at night, it is pitch black, and the little orange barricades that they have little levers to secure them in. Half of those are sticking out, so you could whack your leg, you could trip and fall. It's very unsafe. And I was sure that they were going to be on for New Year's Eve. I'm guessing that they were not. And so you can't tell people to park, that you would prefer them to park and walk over and not have, I'm not saying you, but not have a safe mode of transportation to do that. It is one thing for somebody said people shouldn't, it was unsafe because it was foggy. Look, we knew it was foggy. You could look outside and know it was foggy. We decided not to go out because it's unsafe. That is a personal decision you make based on information that's available. People don't know that bridge isn't lit. That bridge should be lit, or somebody should put some lights on there so that people can go across. Plus, the workers here are going over.
Dear, relax. You're getting a little crazy today. I don't know. You okay? No. And so just before you answer the question, I want to address the idiots that said, why didn't she have her flashlight on? Obviously, she was making a point before she put her flashlight on her phone to finish walking across the bridge, you morons. She was trying to show you how dark it was so that we could make a point with Dan to see what was going on with FDOT. I mean, then she put her flashlight on. She's not an idiot, for crying out loud. You morons out there saying, well, just put your fucking flashlight on and walk and you'll be fine. God, I'm sorry, you guys.
And people shouldn't have to come here on vacation. Listen, I go camping, I bring a head torch. I come to beach to pay all this money to go on vacation. I'm not bringing my damn head torch.
Easy, dear, with the curse words. Jesus, what is wrong with you today?
So how do you feel about it?
Dan, what do you
take safety, and I think part of it, I'm going to say this, some of those comments were from men. You guys may feel fine walking over in the dark because you're all da-da-da. And I feel like I can take care of myself to a point. But it is not right to have the servers or anybody have to walk over there and fear 50% of the population that might be coming over that bridge in the dark.
I will tell you, if I have to walk over that bridge in the dark and I have a choice between one of you two to have an altercation with in the dark, it's not going to be you, Ed. I'm afraid.
Oh,
I'll tell you
that hurts.
She's scary.
Well, so what's going on with the lights on the bridge, bro?
It's not his thing,
well,
though.
I'm sure, but he knew the question was coming.
Yeah, we do have a meeting. Andy and I have a meeting with FDOT on Tuesday to get some answers to these questions, because we don't control the lights on the bridge. They do.
But there are lights on the bridge.
But
They're just not on.
I don't,
That's how stupid the whole thing is. There are lights on the
But
bridge.
here's the thing. If you see any construction site that goes on at night, when they do construction at night, they got those lights so bright you can't even drive through there. And yes, and I'm glad for that. But they're available. There are lights.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. But
well, there's several things we want to talk to them about. The lights obviously being one.
Yeah.
We've got to address this traffic choke point situation that we're dealing with. It's going to get worse before it gets better for the next 3 months. We can already see what we're dealing with. We need, and I guess my question to them is going to be, with any other road construction project that I've ever seen them do, they always have people flaggers. They have something. Why are there no flaggers at Crescent and Fifth? Why are there no flaggers at Crescent and Estero? Why are there no flaggers at Old San Carlos?
There's never any flaggers
There's
out there.
got to be people there keeping traffic moving. So, I've been trying to pay really close attention to see what sticks out as far as.
Yeah, okay, let me tell you what
noticing.
sticks out, Dan. You come over the bridge now and you make the left-hand turn. There's a hole in the road now, right?
I know.
And the cone wasn't there. The red barrel wasn't there. It's gigantic, and I'm like, oh shit,
Someone's gonna drive into it.
Yeah, somebody is gonna ruin their car.
There's a Bob the barricade there now, but now that they've got that. Another question I have is, in all the renderings and everything we've talked about, where they've got that, in my opinion, stupid little zigzag crosswalk that's never going to be used, that you could see through the.
Yes.
Which we fought. We can't have that. It's the bad spot for it, but they went forward with it. Well, that was supposed to be plantings to keep people from cutting through.
That's
there.
right.
It's solid concrete.
That's right.
So when did they change the plan and not tell anybody that this is now going to be solid concrete? Why even have a crosswalk?
Well, how do you know they even changed the plan? Maybe just somebody
I don't know. But
made a
these are all
mistake
questions
and
we want answers
concreted
to,
it in.
So you've got people now. It has been extended because we were seeing people come off of Fifth and make a U-turn because they didn't realize they had to go straight through on Crescent. So they've extended that, but I still see people stopped, holding up traffic, trying to make that U-turn.
Yes.
We need traffic control. We need people.
It's their project. They should have somebody out there waving a flag.
When we met with them initially, we told them this is going to be a massive issue. If people can't drive straight off the island and you're going to route them like that, it's the people trying to get off the island. It's the construction workers. It's people trying to get down the street to go to Times Square. It's all kinds of things.
If they kept cars flowing, the traffic would move better.
Well, when there's people
and
there
then
directing
do that
traffic,
at night. Add the evening.
It needs to be during the peak.
Put your damn foot down, Mayor. Come on.
We're having a meeting.
We're paying
to your meeting.
We're paying you $19,000 a year, bro. Get some shit done.
I don't know that you have ever had a meeting. It's.
Yeah,
FDOT's difficult.
Like talking to the wall.
It's difficult to.
So speaking of FDOT, one of the agreements they made after a lot of pushback from the people on Fort Myers Beach or the people coming to Fort Myers Beach was the light at Prescott. During season, the light at Prescott is supposed to alternate. The right lane is supposed to be red while the left lane is green. When the right lane turns green, the left lane's supposed to be red.
These people all understand the world alternate, but you're having trouble
Did I say
with
alternate?
It. No, but you're explaining it. I think people know what that means.
It was discussed that it was supposed to be on.
And so they're both green the whole time, or they're both red the whole time. Why?
We'll find out on Tuesday. That's another. That's on the list of questions to get answers to.
No,
it causes it's a pain in the butt
because people are now trying to, they're trying to get into. It causes a headache with when there's traffic.
What you're seeing now is people are getting used to it. Is you're seeing the left lane back way up, and then you're seeing people drive down the right lane, and then they're trying to do that last second cut in. And people are getting frustrated because they waited in that line and they're blocking that lane of traffic now. It's creating a mess. And unless you're down here and you see it every day, which FDOT's not here every day. They don't see this every day. So you got to relay that message to them, and hopefully we'll make some adjustments.
So
maybe it's just an oversight. They forgot to turn the switch on. I don't know.
Seems like they forgot everything when season started. Everything.
Well,
so a couple other things.
Well, they're going to find out because they're going to send the same traffic to get on and off this island to do that work.
You should schedule a meeting for 2 PM just to see if they can make it.
The meeting is at 3 o'clock.
Night and make them walk over the bridge.
Town hall.
Oh, speaking of town hall, when is your new town hall going to be ready?
We're shooting for March 1st.
Oh, March now.
We're shooting for March 1st. It's like everybody else, elevators. We got a hard date from the elevator company now, so we're hoping we can get that elevator installed. That's going to be kind of the last thing. On the way to town hall, can you ask the elevator company to drop one off at the library? It's still not open. I don't. Yeah, I'm just kidding about that. I don't have anything to do with the
Whoever
library.
owns the elevator companies made.
I'm sure Greg's listening. Greg could probably fill you in more than I could on the elevator.
Yeah, he probably knows when. It's getting close. I think it looks like it's getting close at the library. But the other thing is, this is a busy week for the town. I mentioned yesterday, Christmas and New Year's on Wednesday was really, holy smokes, man!
Yeah.
It just kills 2 full weeks, and then I wander around trying to figure out what to do with my life. I know you fly to Minnesota and watch a Packers Vikings game, which is kind of nice.
That was fun. Flew in Saturday, came home. Well, tried to come home one day. we got home Tuesday.
So the DOA meeting, and for anybody that doesn't know, that's the administrative meeting where the town is trying to kick La Ola off the island. And I know, I'm exaggerating.
No, not you.
La Ola is the big one. Sun and Fun is on the list. Then there's some other Connex boxes that are on the list, but La Ola is the big one. That's Tuesday, and that's supposed to be broadcast live, I guess, on the town's Facebook page.
Right.
The people that are on the list go to town hall, and the DOA judge, I guess, is coming in through Zoom. So that's how the whole thing will work. And then Wednesday's the town council, and Thursday's the LPA. So it's a busy week. There was one 2450, which is where Mom's trailer is, and there's a real estate trailer there. Or they were continued to the next meeting. Do you know why?
Yeah, the owner was going to be out of town and asked the magistrate to continue it to the next meeting. So that's why that one got continued.
Tom, tell him you're going to be out of town for the next 2 meetings. I mean, no, I think, no, and Tom's hired, Tom and Chris have hired Amy Thibault. I think that's how you say her last name, Justin's wife from Retzel. So they have an attorney, and they are going to try. The thing that's interesting, Dan, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but maybe you could speculate. Let's say the DOA judge, just for shits and giggles, the DOA judge rules in favor of La Ola. I mean, I know it's a long shot, but I mean, if the DOA judge, which is a state judge, rules in favor of La Ola, saying he showed you guys the video where he can get the trailers off the island, he's done it in a reasonable amount of time. How does that, at that point, it's basically the state against FEMA, right? Because FEMA's really behind this, not the town. I'm joking before, but it's FEMA.
I'm not a lawyer. I don't, everything I've been told is the ruling from the magistrate is the ruling. So we have to abide by what the magistrate says.
You do.
The town does, yes.
So if you abide by what the state magistrate says, how do you think that fits into? I read the letter the other day where FEMA says we don't care about your economics of the business of the island.
No. What FEMA cared about was the fact that we were implementing the process that we had in place, and that's exactly what we're doing. So they didn't. In our conversations with the FEMA people, they didn't actually think we were going to take people to the magistrate. That was their issue. When we told them, our staff told them, we've already got hearing dates that we're bringing this to the magistrate. They're like, oh, you are. So I think it was the fact that they didn't think we were going to follow through on what our process was supposed to be, which we're doing. We made the argument to try to allow that process to not start until after season, but they would be gone. And most people were in agreement. We'll be gone before the next start.
Sure.
Just let us get through.
Well, actually,
they told us, no, that's not good enough. So that's where we're at.
I think Tom wants to win the case. And
You're not speaking for him. This is your opinion.
I did speak to him the other day. No, this is not my opinion. This is not my opinion. I spoke to Tom. He would like to get a ruling in his favor and then stay there until further notice. He wants to be able to have that business there until something is built, something is done.
I don't know the answer to your specific question. What if the magistrate rules in favor of Lola and they can stay? How will that impact what FEMA has?
Yes.
I don't know that answer.
Does that all? Let's say you let them stay there because you're following the process, and the administrative judge rules in favor of La Ola. How did you think that impacts the your attempt to get back in the National Flood Insurance Program?
Well, I think we'll have a hell of a good argument. We went through the process. The process ruled in favor of the other person. What else can we do?
But is it
But
not?
that's not for 2 years.
But is it not true that FEMA does not want those trailers in the high velocity zone?
You can't have them in a high. According to FEMA, you cannot have trailers in the high velocity.
But so how do you square what you're saying about your process and FEMA telling you they don't want those trailers in the high velocity zone? How do you square that?
Well, no. What FEMA says is trailers that can be removed, and I think what Tom's argument is, I showed you that I can remove this.
Right.
That I think that's probably going to be his argument. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I can't speak for him. But
So a trailer that can be removed can be in the high velocity zone.
according to FEMA's guidelines,
Like
a trailer that can be removed,
like the
with a
Buffalo
light
guy.
duty truck.
Like the Buffalo guy,
Okay. Well, then
right?
that's
The
the
Buffalo
answer.
guy. But his is much larger than that.
But if it can be
It
removed,
is.
I don't think
It
there
is
is an
much
answer.
larger.
I don't think there is an
don't-
answer right now.
that's what they're going to figure out.
That's the bad thing about the storm. We're in areas that,
Uncharted.
kudos to those guys. They tried to come up with an idea that fit the boundaries of which way they were supposed to work in. When FEMA first came down, they didn't like what they saw. I talked to Tom about it. Tom corrected the few issues that FEMA had made clear to me that they did not like. And everybody thought that they were okay. They were doing what they were doing, and evidently it wasn't okay. So we're at where we're at. We'll see what the magistrate says, and we'll figure out what the next step is.
Yeah.
And to be clear, the trailers or the Connex boxes, that was one of
Yes.
4 other
Yes.
things or
Right.
3 other things. So when people keep saying, the decision was made to the benefit of this, and now we lost our discount. The discount was lost based on other things besides that situation.
It was not specifically because of La Ola. No.
No, some of it was unpermitted work, and you don't see pitchforks going out with that.
Well, we've tried to say on your show and everything else, get a permit. We've tried to make the permit process as easy as we can.
But I'm saying the negativity and the rancor towards that specific situation it's not just that.
How many cigarettes you
other
smoked today?
people shut up. It's other people that have done unpermitted work.
Well, and I think there's some so we've had people that have started work without a permit and then have come in and got a permit. And there's people that are arguing, well, how come you can start work? There's no way any municipality on the earth can stop someone from doing something that they want to do. But once you're caught, we can make sure that you come into compliance, or at least put you through the process to come into compliance, or it's going to be very costly. And those that have been caught, and there's been numerous people that have been caught, have had to go back and get a permit to get all the work inspected. Some have had to do costly repairs because they didn't do it right the first time. I know for one for sure that got
Who's
caught.
that?
I'm
Who's
not going
that?
to tell you who it is, but
Well, you can't throw that out there and not name
there
names.
is one
Nobody's
person
watching.
that has gotten caught and has had to go back through and get the permit and get inspected and had to make a lot of changes. I shouldn't say a lot, but had to make costly changes to come into compliance with the Florida Building Code.
By the way,
was able to eventually close the permit and get the CO.
And I get that when people were,
You try to do that to me, we're fighting.
yeah, well, we're going to fight too. But I've already left some bruises. He's covering it up with his jacket, so we don't need to go there. I get when people went through that.
He could blame it on his walking or his running or whatever that was this morning.
Gallop. It was a gallop.
He looked like a drunken sailor. Ding, 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 ding.
He said to me this morning, I saw you out there walking. I was like, Dan, I
said, I saw your fast walk. He was like, literally, he was on the sidewalk by himself and he took up the entire sidewalk, left to right.
I was getting out of the way. I was getting out of the way of people. Listen, before I forget.
Let me just finish my point.
Go ahead.
So, I get that people right after the storm did fixes. They needed to fix up their house.
Sure.
I mean,
and we'll be
I
the first to admit the permitting was a dumpster fire right after the storm. We had no place to work out of. We didn't have we didn't have the resources in place to deal with the flood of things that were coming at us. I'll be the first to admit it. Everybody will admit it. We know it. It's not, it's not a secret. The state came in and got us people to help as best they could. And we got it corrected and we're moving forward. But yeah, there's people that definitely did work without a permit. And There's
You know, this show would never be as entertaining without Dan. I just have to say that. So you have to be the mayor at least until your term expires.
Yeah,
so,
well.
so the by the way, the folks from FMB Strong are here, and we are going to let you know how much money we raised, whether or not
and you've got to maybe
whether or not they raised
this
enough
rope.
money. But if you want to get in on the 50-50 raffle, you
Still
can.
time. Still
You can
time.
now. We're going to give away money at the end of the show. What is it up to? Tell me.
Let's put it.
Wait, what? Oh, so we went over the
13.20.
12. What was it? 2,400 you were trying to get, and you got how much? 13 and 13 is
think
27,
Peter,
right?
Peter
20
and Nick from Wahoo's put you over.
almost $3,000.
Hey,
So,
Heidi,
and all the
Is
money's
that
going
just
to
wear
FMB
It's
Strong.
not to wear the wig, right?
So, I listen. I'm
What
gonna.
if we can raise another $500 before the show, and you have to wear the wig
He just
for the
needs to
entire
wear the wig
for the
anyway.
entire
Why
event?
do I always have to be the one that's
Are you willing to
embarrassed?
take
Oh
that?
Jesus,
It's all for
Jamie's
a
got
good
money.
cause.
I see hundreds
It's all
coming
for a
out.
good cause. Will you take the challenge?
You got to turn the camera to show that.
It's crazy how people just anything to embarrass me. People are willing to throw money at.
It's all for a good cause.
Yeah.
You're helping people out.
And
Oh,
this
he
is
nodded
for.
yes. He accepted the challenge. So if we can raise $500 before the end of
If
the show,
I have to wear that stupid Afghan during
and
this,
the wig,
Captain.
I mean
the
during
wig.
this
and the
crawl.
wig.
The crawl is February the 8th. How many, Eliza, if you're watching, post in there how many ticket sales we're up to. I know we were trying to get 300. It really is a fun time. I'm not putting makeup on, no matter how much money you guys give. You can give $1,000 each. There's no chance of putting any makeup on because dudes that put makeup on have serious
look at that.
problems.
It's like an ATM
Serious
over there now.
problems.
People want to.
Holy crap! Look who's
Oh
here.
my goodness.
Crazy,
How are
crazy,
you?
man.
How are you?
He would come down. One time when I was in shape, I ran from Gateway to the beach, like the whole 20 miles. We were getting ready for the world's toughest mudder. And he rode his bike right side by side with me all the way down. He was trying to lose a few pounds. And he was, if you guys listen to the show, you hear Gene's voice on there. And he would come down to see Gene, Mean
I
Gene,
recognize
and
him.
Randy.
He's Gateway. He's
Yeah,
Gateway.
he's out from Gateway, and so it's nice
Straight
to see
out
him
of
down here.
Gateway.
So
That's
we're just making memories here, Mayor. We're making
That's
memories.
all you can
here.
do. That's all you
Yeah.
can do.
And
It's nice to see people smiling and having fun again.
Yeah, you're right there. You got the
Had a
hiccups.
hiccup, had a hiccup.
So let's see. There's been some questions about the Beach Baptist lot. Like people think that it's a RV park or a trailer or it's developing into something other than a church. And I mean, I love Pastor Kritzer. We've been friends a long time. And so, I mean, that's why it pains me to even ask the question, but there are people in that neighborhood that are staying. He says you're allowed, I think what he posted or sent me an email was you're allowed to have one. And then if somebody
for
wants
24 hours.
or you're allowed to have one, maybe somebody that lives there is allowed to be one permanent. But anyway,
I don't know.
he
I
said,
know. Yeah.
a church property is allowed to have somebody come through for a stay and stay for one night. Now, I don't know anything about that, but what can you tell us about it?
I know that they had a notice of violation issued to them on the 13th of December.
For what?
For I think it was for camping. I don't know the exact verbiage of it, but the issue is that the staff has found is they've been advertising on two sites, Harvest Host, and I can't remember what the other one is, to bring campers in. So my guess is I haven't talked to the code department. I don't know, but I know that they were issued a violation there, and they're going to be going before the magistrate. So it is being addressed.
Now, this is your magistrate, not the state magistrate.
Right. Yeah.
Monica. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be my guess. Yes.
Yeah. And I think they have a meeting this month too.
I don't know
Maybe
if
not
it's going
this
to be.
week or
I don't
next
know if
week.
it's going to be in the January.
I got you.
If it's not January, to be February. But they have been violated for the camping, and they are advertising on two separate sites and have been for about 8 years.
But is he allowed to? Are they allowed to have?
Not according to our code. They're not.
Oh,
allowed
your
to,
code.
Not allowing to the town ordinances.
Does God's code supersede your code, or is that how the code works?
I don't know. I did see Pastor Kritzer's post about sanctuary, and I don't know enough about it to be able to tell you that that's right or wrong. But camping is camping, and it's not allowed, and they've received a violation. So
gotcha. All right. So wait, we have questions from. Did you see the questions I sent you from Todd? Yeah, I sent it to you. You didn't read it. Nice job reading the questions I sent you.
I didn't read them
Is there
either,
a need for
sorry.
additional inspectors? Is what Todd's question was because of everything going on. Do you need more? Does the town need more inspectors?
Well, if we do, I'll tell you, Jacobs will get them to us if we need them.
Gotcha.
We will certainly. I have not heard anybody having an issue with getting inspections, but the council has given direction to staff to do whatever is necessary to make sure this permitting department runs as smoothly as possible. So that's an ongoing direction from the council. So Andy understands it. Frankie understands it. They know if there's a shortage, so does Jacobs. They understand if we need more help or we need other things, that they'll get it to us.
And of course, Doris, we always like to come to a conclusion near the end of the show with questions about Estero Boulevard's lighting. It's lovely out there, how well lit the skies are.
I'm going at the meeting. Well, one of my council member items is going to be.
You certainly are having dark skies here.
Yeah, is going to be request that FPL, Chad Powell and those guys, or Chris Powell, sorry, those guys come in and address the council and let us know where we're at, time frames, because the public wants to know. We want to know. I mean, I hate continuing to say they're working on it. When are we going to start to see some lights? So yeah, enough is enough.
So everybody went through the holidays and was kind of on their best behavior. And then former council member Bill Veach made a post on his page yesterday about the 17 stories that got people riled up again. And of course, I shared that, which encouraged more people to get. Do you have a question? Come on down if you have a question. I thought you guys were here to have breakfast or something.
Come on
maybe
down.
If you have. Oh, she's got a big problem. Well, the mayor can help you. These are problems.
Beach, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
bigger than Ed.
Beach has the problem.
Nice and close to the
Hold it up so
microphone.
we can hear you. Yeah.
Beach, go ahead.
Okay. I own a place at Casa Playa. You know where it is?
Yes.
Between? All
Yes.
right. And the Army Corps of Engineer, who is pumping sand out of the Gulf, has got a pump station right in front of our place.
Yes.
Now, we opened up on December 15th.
Got to hold it up so that.
Okay, we opened up on December 15th. And a few people started coming in to find, and lo and behold, that pumping station runs 24/7.
Mhm.
And it's so goddamn loud. People are coming to the office in the morning and say, "Hey, we want our money back. We can't stay. We couldn't sleep last night."
Mhm.
Is there anything to do with that stuff other than blowing it up?
Yes. So the 24/7.
Hold on, Dan, before you answer. I want to thank you, sir. I want to give people a little bit more background. There's the beach renourishment project is going on. The barge is way off on this side.
Mhm.
And so they're feeding the sand onto this side of the island. Then there's a pumping station that unfortunately happens to be right behind Casa Playa, which is pretty loud. That's helping the sand get from where it is on this end
Pushing
to the other
sand
end. Go
further.
ahead, Dan.
Yeah. So we've been dealing with this issue with your condo building for a couple of months now. And our staff, as of this morning, I got an email from Chad Schutz, who they were out there yesterday with Mike Poff, who is our engineer.
Yeah.
That's working on it. They're going to try to add a couple more pumps and move that one down the beach a little bit in front of an empty lot.
That's a great idea.
Well,
That's a
but
great idea,
but
because
I
they're
don't want
allowing
anybody
empty
at
lots,
Casa Playa to think that we haven't been working on it. There's a lengthy amount of emails that have been going back and forth
I
between
know,
our
I've got them
staff.
all
and-
here.
But those
Yeah.
other
I've got 'em
places
all
aren't. We're
What's that?
open. We're open for business.
I
The other
understand.
places are not open.
I understand that. I understand that. And I'm not an engineer, so I can't explain as to why it had to be right in that exact spot. But they're looking at adding more pumps and spreading them out so they're not all in one spot, is what I was told this morning in an email. So
Yeah.
we are trying to fix the issue. We know it's an
'cause
issue.
I
People
know,
wanna-
because I'm on the board over there
Sure,
as well. And,
sure.
and the president is the one who's been sending this. I got
Yeah.
a complete list. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen them.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
you
I've
can-
seen it.
all right.
Yeah, I've seen
And
it. We've been
it
communicating
is-
back and forth.
It was
Yeah.
just been awful.
And staff
I mean,
is working on it, and yeah, it's
People want to come to the beach.
well, I
Fort
understand.
Myers Beach.
I understand. You know, the beach renourishment is a big thing for all of us, and we agreed a long time ago
Yeah.
to let this run 24
Mhm,
hours a day,
yeah.
7 days a week, so that we can get it done as fast as
Yeah.
possible and be the least impactful.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
But the thing is,
unfortunately, the way the design ended up, your building is where the pump is,
Yeah.
and you opened up faster than anyone else. But
Yeah.
they are working on
They're-
it. They met out there yesterday. They've got a plan. They're gonna try to move it down further south next to an empty lot, so it's as least disruptive as possible.
Yeah.
They'll have to add more pumps along the way to make up for it, but they're working on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They're
We
working.
because
appreciate
between our,
that.
You've
between our
been
lot
heard. Trust me, you've been
and
heard.
was it the next one? Actually, there's 6 empty lots.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where they're going to put it. This was
so
just
if they
as of
move
this
it
morning.
halfway down, we'd be in good shape. But we got bookings for all January and February, and we're
Sure.
moving right along.
Sure.
And people are glad to come. But if they come and see this, I mean, they'll tell their
Sure.
friends as hell, don't forget about Fort Myers Beach until they get their act together.
Well, it's not about
Yeah.
getting our act together. We're doing what we need to do to protect the beach. I mean, it's unfortunate the pump is there, but it has to go somewhere. You guys were fortunate enough to be opening faster than most people in their condos. So, well, we certainly don't want that. And they met yesterday, and they've got a plan, I believe, in place that they're going to try to move it. Will it alleviate the entire problem? I don't know. I don't have that answer for you, but trust me, we're doing the best that we can. We're doing the best. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Well, good. I'm glad they got their question answered.
Yeah. I literally this morning at 8:51, I got the email about it.
So red coconuts.
Yeah, coconuts.
Yeah.
What
What do you
about
think? There's a lot of talk about, a recall, a reconsideration. What do you think the chances are of that?
I have no idea. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. You'd have to ask my fellow council members. I have no idea is there a path? I don't know. Is there going to be? I don't know. To me, I'm on to the next thing. It's going to be what it is. And if it comes back up, we'll discuss it. If it doesn't, we'll continue to move forward. No,
Explain. Go ahead.
Yeah, and again, I don't know this for sure, but it's my understanding. What you're talking about is someone said one of the three that voted for the project could bring it up for reconsideration. Is the talk I'm assuming that you're talking about? If that's true or not, I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew that was a fact. I don't know. I mean, there are ways that people can challenge decisions that a council makes. If they choose to do that, then they choose to do that. But I'm looking at it as I made my vote. I stick by my vote. I support Matt. I support Seagate. I support everything they're doing. And if it comes back before us again, we'll discuss it. If it doesn't, then we'll do the best we can to make sure that Seagate is the best partner we can have.
Yeah, I mean, I think that even if it came back up for reconsideration, there's a big gap between sticking strictly with 3 over flood or whatever's in the comp plan and 17. And I just wonder if that's just a chasm too great to sort of to meet in the middle.
Yeah, well, this is just my opinion. It's not about Seagate's project or any other project for that matter. But I think what you're starting to see or hear is
We're going to go from serious to not so serious in a minute.
brown chicken, brown cow.
It's really unattractive.
He looks miserable. He looks just miserable.
It looks a little like yellow Jesus outfit.
Well, I like it. The only thing that's popping in my head is the song, I'm too sexy for me. Do the strut, man. Do the strut. Oh, God. You're a trooper.
It's about 5 sizes too big. I couldn't even figure out whether I was supposed to have. Like, I feel like
we need to get you some boobs.
I feel like I need some covering my boobs or
You
something.
need some
It's
boobs?
ridiculous. Well, needless to say, you raised enough money, and I hate all you people. Every single one that donated $1.
Trying to
to
think
this?
like the rock
You
star
know,
who he looks
it
like.
was bad enough when he had the caftan on, but the
I couldn't
wig,
even look at
really,
myself in the mirror
it's
when I
really
put this
weird
on.
to
I
see
couldn't
you
in the
with
Is
bathroom.
it kind of like a
hair.
red or brown? What color? I mean, now who's got the best hair?
I don't know. It's
Can we do the drawing, please?
disturbing to see him with
It's Edna. Edna.
Can we do the drawing? Go. Get out of the chair. Get out of the chair. Go
Barb-
get
Well,
out of
we
the
need
chair.
we need a.
Get out of the chair. Get out.
Draw the ticket.
Well, okay.
What if I draw my own?
Well,
You'll have to put it back
Okay.
in because ain't nobody gonna.
Yeah.
They will lose that.
Well, I got my tickets. Yeah, right.
All right.
you're a trooper.
Hold on.
Anything I do for FMB Strong, just so you know that, Tim.
All right, we'll even let you draw the ticket.
No, that's all right. I don't want to draw the fucking ticket. Just pull the ticket out.
Oh
No, not appropriate. Not appropriate.
No, let the mayor draw the ticket. He's not gonna.
Calm down.
All right, I'll draw the ticket.
Draw the ticket.
Close my eyes.
Edna, your
There,
age?
I can't see the ticket.
You can feel it with your hands.
The winner is
Sandy Sadness.
Sandy Sadness.
How much did she win? 1,500.
and $20.
So 3,000. The goal was 2,400, and we raised over $3,000.
Nice.
So I hope you all join us.
Sandy
No chance that's
Yeah.
happening, Albert.
Is Sandy listening? Is she
I
going to
don't know.
donate
I
it
don't
back?
know.
Somebody call Sandy and ask her. So,
Yeah.
listen, I love wearing this dress.
No, you got to keep it on.
No, I thought we were going to finish the show seriously. I did.
We
I
did.
did.
We did.
Now
I'll
you
wear
look-
it. I'll wear it during the pub crawl.
Now you look weird without hair. It's a creepy thing. I don't know.
You guys talking about what
We
we
were
guys?
talking about, yeah.
I don't remember what we were talking
No,
about.
dear,
when
you
walked
can't
in.
go. What are you doing?
He wants the number for your massage therapist.
To be clear, he does have shorts on. You're going back on the whole thing, dear.
he's such
Well,
a
I
baby.
hope- I know. It's like 2 minutes.
He's going to the Barbie truck.
When we first were dating, he lost a bet and he had hair back in the day and he had to get it shaved. It was disturbing for me to like go out with him after that because it was to see somebody with hair and then without hair, disturbing. Yeah.
That's the closest I'm ever getting to touching a dude. Then.
Yeah, you did a good thing there, Ed.
All right. So back
So
to
we just started into that and
Okay,
we
so,
weren't
yeah.
getting too far. Hand me
yeah.
that
So
red glass.
the 17-story thing. Do you think that is there a process to reconsider? I know there isn't a process for the state thing that people were originally talking about. Can somebody that voted yes for it ask for it to be brought up again?
I have seen those posts and I've heard those
about it.
rumors. If it's true, I don't know.
Okay.
I'd be lying. I have done zero research to find out if that's the case, but I've heard people say that you'd have to ask one of the 3 people that voted for it if that's something that they were willing to do. If it can be done, I don't know.
Do you think, again, you might not know this. Do you think if it is brought up again, that it puts the town in a situation where the property owner could pull a Bert Harris out of their hat?
I think if it gets brought up again, we'll discuss it. Like,
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can tell you is if it comes up, we'll discuss it. If it doesn't, we'll move on.
I don't think I've ever seen like when a resolution or something was passed that actually is brought up again and revoted. Do you have any experience with that?
I don't, as long as I've been paying attention down here, I've never seen that happen, but it could have happened and I just don't know about it. But again, I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew that was something that could actually happen.
No, people could get together and search out. Whoopsie.
I'm sure there's ways people can go about
Search out-
challenging. Sure, there's ways people can go about challenging. a
Kind of
decision,
like
but
they are doing now in Captiva. If you haven't been keeping an eye on that, you might want to look at that. There's some similarities there with them going against the
South
county
Seas.
and
Well,
South
yeah,
Seas,
there's always
and
checks and
they're
balances for government.
they're going to have some decisions coming up here pretty soon. But they all coalesced, got a lawyer, and they're proceeding through. So.
And I don't know if that's happening or not happening. I have people who have been asking. No one has reached
Well,
out.
I don't
to
know
me
if it's
about it,
happening
so I don't
here.
know.
It's definitely happening in
could be.
Captiva.
Yeah, they're definitely very vocal about it.
Yeah, and
It's-
there are community members who have said that a lawsuit is coming. Nothing's been filed that we know of, but people have said a lawsuit is coming, and so we'll see what happens if that happens.
Yeah.
So, last question, and then we'll
Well, I
let you
think
go.
Kim, you had asked a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Before.
I did. I got a question in
Well,
here.
you were asking
So-
about like the 3 stories. You were starting to ask a
Yeah.
question. You never were able to finish it. And I was trying to in the people that I've talked to, I think what we're seeing or what I'm hearing or seeing is people understand that, changes have to be made.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be some allowances allowed for the right public benefit and stuff. So are there people that are hardcore, it's this and nothing
Right.
else? Yes. Are there people that are hardcore that say, let anybody have anything they want? I think 80% of the public, at least in my opinion, are in that middle ground where, a little bit's okay, maybe a little bit more depending on I think that there's room for discussion. And I think as long as we go and we sit down with people and we hear their plan and we discuss it in open and fairness, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But that's the process we'll go.
I think we're the majority.
Do you think there were enough meetings like that to include the public?
Well,
for them to give other alternate proposals, or
I don't know. I mean, you think about it, there really hasn't been a lot of large since the town's incorporation. There's really only been two, Margaritaville and now this one, that have been of a very big stir to the community, if you will, and to see how both have gone through the process. They've both done it similarly but differently, right?
Not close to similar. I think that most of the people that are opposed feel let down because they feel like there was really no pushback at all. Now, I know Matt would argue that and say, we altered the park and we gave you the restrooms and we did this and that and the other thing, and we're allowing you to be a member of the club. But I think people do feel like, okay, but you asked for 17 stories. And the reason the town was incorporated was because Diamond Head is not 17 stories. It's lower than that. And there was no pushback on the number of floors. Like, I think you're right. I think even the survey that we did, which was unscientific, it almost felt like people were like, 3 or 4 is too low. We might be okay with 10. We sound like, and that 10's coming a long way in a community that was afraid of heights. And so I just feel like my opinion is they feel let down that there was no pushback on the height of those buildings in a community where they were begging for help.
I can't speak for my fellow counselors and what their conversations were through this process. I can only tell you about mine. And I guarantee you there was pushback on my point on the height. Matt would sit right next to me and tell you, Dan pushed back. And I pushed back as hard as I could. At the end of the day, you have a vote, you have the discussion. Matt had a proposal. He changed his proposal several times. He brought it to the council. It got voted on. It got approved.
Do you feel like he changed it a little or he changed it a lot?
did he ever change the height?
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean,
Was it more?
I don't know. I mean, I saw an original like conceptual drawing.
Yeah, right.
And I did, my face was like that. And I think Matt saw my face and they came out with what you see now. But the original one that I originally way back when saw is nothing like you see now. But
what do you mean nothing like? Nothing.
Well, the design and everything's a lot.
Okay.
I mean, it was just I don't know how many stories it was. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he did make changes. He didn't make enough changes, in my opinion, to warrant what he was asking for. I didn't feel it was consistent, but it got approved, and now we'll move forward and we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah. So the other thing I think
a lot of people are hoping it's going to be reconsidered tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't even know what I tried to research what that whole process is, but I mean.
Well, they've still got a long way to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Even the town is the first step. You gotta go through.
Even that thing's 5 years away, if we're being honest.
It's not going to be next year. Let's put it that way. I mean, and it could change. What we saw were conceptual. So all we did was set the parameters, or what was approved were the parameters of what the building could be.
Now, so do you know anything more about Times Square other than why Terry Prasad will not clean up his corner? He comes out with this 4-story 50 boutique hotel that he wants to build. He won't clean up his corner. He won't knock down the Junkanoo building.
Fresh catch.
I know they have nothing to do with each other, but why? The guy, if he wants to be a good neighbor, why can't he clean up his spot?
Well, that's a question for Terry. Invite him on your show and ask him. I don't.
Please. You know what? I hope one day I'm walking through Times Square and I find him so I can put Facebook on and just ask him why he won't clean up his spot. Like, why won't you clean up your spot? Why can't? There are other people like there. You walk up to the north end. There are condo buildings that are totally gone, totally clean. Condo buildings.
It's not specific to just Terry. There's all kinds of properties on the island that people need to take care of. So it's an issue we're gonna, we were dealt a hand that we got to do.
Times Square, you've got people milling around in there, like during the fireworks in the fog with no lights.
So the last question I wanted to ask you about, and I know you're not going to vote on this, so you might be able to answer it.
Sure.
Let's say.
Don't make it like he doesn't answer stuff.
No,
you, you
sometimes
were a
I
little
don't.
snarky.
No, I didn't
All
mean
right,
it like that.
all
I don't
right,
want to ask
all
him a question that
He
he
wasn't
might
being
vote on.
sassy.
He knows that. I don't
I
want to put
know,
him in a
but
spot
You made it sound like
where if he's going to vote on something, I'm trying to be to get something, pull something out of him. Anyway, the Pink Shell has a beautiful boutique resort they're getting ready to propose. The LPA, I think the LPA turned it down, but it's coming to the council on Wednesday when you guys meet. If it turns out that the density in that spot was, as Bill pointed out, it was never transferred, that parking lot was never transferred, should they be allowed to build that boutique hotel there?
I guess we're going to find out on Wednesday.
All righty.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I tried.
I don't know what to tell you.
I tried.
So
You can.
So the Wyndham is getting cleaned up. Yes.
Wyndham.
Yes, I was by there yesterday. What they're doing is they're pushing all the stuff.
Are they
out.
doing it for 200,000? Is the town doing it for 600,000?
I don't know what they're paying to do it. The
200.
The owner of the property is doing it. I don't know their finances or what they're charging. What was said in the meeting is the town manager said that they have gotten a quote to do it should they not take care of it. I have talked to the people doing the work down there twice in the last week. They were waiting to get their NOC in.
What's that mean?
That's a notice of commencement. It's something they have to file with the clerk of courts to be able to say, it's just paperwork. Any kind of projects. So they have to go through the asbestos thing and push all the stuff out, and then you'll start seeing the building come down. So they told me this week you should start seeing dumpsters there and that stuff that's being pushed out. So they are moving forward. It's not going to be gone in 30 days.
But at least it started.
And that's the communication that I had with them. It's the town doesn't want to go do the project for you. You take care of it. As long as there's progress, that's all we're asking.
But it does seem that the minute the town starts to put these people in the cycle of the process, then they get their act together, and they like that happened up here on the corner.
Yeah,
and
they're
tropical,
starting, whatever it was.
Yeah, I have no ill will toward the guy that owns the Wyndham. I know there's they're trying to figure out what to do with it, but it's still an eyesore.
But as of yesterday, they were still working on it. I haven't been down there today to see if they're working on it, but they were working on it yesterday, and They're part of the property is being used. Totally they did ask me to say this on the show that people to try to avoid that area because it's not fenced off and people are using it for a beach access.
They are. I walked by in my walk around
equipment
yesterday.
going on there between beach renourishment, between everything that's going on tearing that building down. If you could use an alternate place to cross to get to the beach, please do. We don't want anybody getting hurt.
Here's a suggestion, being that he owns the property.
Put up a
little
fence.
So I'll give you a story. So
maybe everybody should. Can you add that into the ordinance that if you have a property, it has to be fenced off?
Here's what you don't see. People think it's that simple, right? Everything seems so simple, and I was one of those until I got in the seat of being on a council. There's always two sides to every story, right? So when they put that white fence up, I think it's Sanderac that's to the north or whatever of them. When they put that fence up, we got loaded up with emails. Please don't let them put a fence around the window and block our beach access.
But it's tough. You can't have it both ways.
I get it. But to your point, can it be closed off and created access?
Is it an access? Is it a designated access?
I don't believe it's a dead, but people that live in the neighborhood use that.
I think it's an access that they allowed the people to have.
You're
it's not an actual access.
My point was just to say
this is what happens when you don't follow the rules.
With every decision comes a reaction, right?
Well, you can't have it both ways. You either want to clean or you want
you
want to
either
be
follow
able to
the rules or you don't follow the rules. You can't. And I've heard that argument too. I mean, I've heard that criticism of y'all too. Sometimes the rules are followed and sometimes they're not. And people will complain on both sides. And folks, there's actually a Facebook page for everybody who wants to complain.
Did you see
It
that?
is hilarious.
It is
yes,
funny.
it's for people who want to be part of the problem, not the solution. So if that is you, I'm going to link you to this Facebook page and you can complain to your heart's content.
Yeah, we all have to remember at the end of the day, we all live in the same 7-mile sandbar, right?
Yeah.
And we all got to coexist. And just like the people from Casa Playa, if there's a problem, bring it to our attention. We'll do the best we can to correct it.
Yeah.
And we'll move on to the next problem.
Dear, I think you need to take a break and go have a drink or something. But
she's wound up today.
But the people on the Facebook page are like, I love the feisty Kim. Because they never see it.
Now you see why I'd rather face you on the bridge than her.
Did we miss anything? Or
no, I think we covered it all. I hope we covered it all. But congratulations to Sandy Sadness. And thanks for being a good sport, Ed.
And to the FMB Strong people for raising $3,000.
All right.
Big hand for the mayor, everybody. And before we let you guys go, please listen to our sponsors. Please don't walk out on our sponsors, damn it. Like Michael Stewart, because Michael Stewart is a longtime sponsor. And you know what? The last thing you want is to have a house that falls down. You don't want to walk by a house and it's yours and it's on the ground because it fell down. And so what you want to do is call Michael Stewart, a structural engineer. He also designs mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. It's a little windy here. Thank you very much, Ed. Michael Stewart's residential services range from new custom homes directly on the Gulf Bay or Finger Streets. He starts with the survey and the client's hand-drawn sketches, and then he generates all the documents for permit. And if my salesperson was listening, she'd go right in the chat box right now and type in Michael Stewart's website, because we want people to go to mstewartpe.com. That's mstewartpe.com, so that they can build a structurally sound house. Eagle Eye Aluminum is in the house. Yes, they are. Tom Coleman is here with his lovely 14th wife, who is in uniform today. She wasn't in uniform on January 1st. 14 wives. You know, you got to be some kind of pain in the ass prick to have 14 wives. Actually, it's his 4th wife, not 14th wife. But you know what? He can help you out if you need seamless gutters, aluminum and vinyl soffit and fascia repairs and full replacement. And if your pool screen is damaged from one of the last 18 storms we had down here, then he will come by and make sure that it lasts through the next storm. Give Tom Coleman a call right now. I dare you to call him on his cell phone. He's sitting right in front of me. Just call him to wish him a happy new year. Somebody call him, please. I'm begging you. 239-340-1639. 239. There is his phone number right there. Call him. Just to thank you for coming. Thank you guys for coming. Call him right now. 239-340-1639. Alex King, everybody, is also a sponsor of the show. We have a lot of sponsors today. And, you know, this is the best part of the show when I get to read the ads and ad-lib the ads and tell you about people like Alex King. Everybody knows Alex King. Not only is he a sponsor of the show, but he donates like tens of thousands of dollars to all these different events. And I know of one that he's donated $10,000 to that I'll be able to tell you about soon. It's an event that has not happened on the beach that may be happening again soon. Give Alex King a call if you want to live in your dream home. I live in a dream garage at my house right now. But if you want to live in your dream home and elevate your lifestyle, call Alex King at 239-219-0336. That's 239-219-0336. And I know I have one more sponsor. Did he get a call? I think they're calling you just to wish you a happy new year. And lastly, everybody, the final sponsor of the day is Parrot Key. Packers playing today? Does the Packers have a game today? Who are they playing today? Anybody know? Oh, God, the Bears. Just as bad as the Giants. Go Lions. How about go Lions tonight? Anybody? No. That's going to be a humdinger of a game. The Lions and the Vikings tonight. There's some action on the line for that. How much money got on that game, Ed? Hang up on them. By the way, the Green Bay Packers South is Parrot Key. Waterfront dining at Salty Sam's Marina, Island time all the time. Sunday brunch from 9 to noon featuring Monster Mary's bottomless mimosas and lobster eggs. Oh, I love lobster eggs. Gosh. Lobster Eggs Benedict, by the way. It is the biggest Green Bay Packers bar in the area. It's known as Lambeau South. I wonder if they're going to do the draft, like a draft special there at Parrot Key, like they're doing at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. MyParrotKey.com. MyParrotKey.com. Thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you for coming to Wahoo Willie's. Give yourselves a round of applause. We had a big crowd here today. Thank you so much. Thanks to Mayor Dan Allers. And thank you to FMB Strong for being who you are. And I need a small in this dress for February 8th. Is the Afghan Crawl. Everybody, we hope you come out and support FMB Strong. We'll see you broadcasting live on Tuesday from the DOA meeting and Wednesday from the Town Council meeting. Thank you. And bye-bye. Thank you guys for coming.